4 amazing po' boy sandwich places here in New Orleans. First one we're starting off, Parkway Bakery and Tavern. Here's my criteria, here's what I'm thinking. So every place we're definitely getting a shrimp po' boy and we're getting a roast beef po' boy. Those are like the classic. Here's what's great about the shrimp. We are right off the Gulf of Mexico, so they're pulling the shrimp day of, out of that Gulf, frying it. Oh, just a perfection, right? And of course the roast beef, slow cooked, just dripping with its juices. So delicious. Now we're gonna get them dressed. Here's what that traditionally means. Lettuce, tomato, mayo, pickles. But every place you're going to today kind of does dress their own way. Sometimes they add a hot sauce, they add a ketchup. So we'll be getting it dressed how they dress it at each place we go to.
Sounds great.
Everything comes on a French bread they bake here in this city. Pillowy in the inside, crunchy on the outside. The French roll, the po' boy roll, is maybe the perfect vessel to eat a sandwich. You hungry?
I'm very hungry, yeah. Let's do it.
Let's eat. Dude, I hope you don't mind. I got the smalls.
Yeah. And what are you having?
A couple of dads. All right. Let's open this up, right?
Man. This is a weighty sandwich, man.
Yep. This roast beef right here. They sell a lot of roast beef here, buddy. They sell 400 pounds or almost a ton of roast beef a week.
Goodness me.
Okay, I gotta get in here.
Yeah, same. I got the shrimp one.
It's absolutely incredible. Here's why this roast beef is incredible. They slow cook it for like overnight, almost 12 hours, right? And even when it comes out, just pretty much falling apart. We've seen with the barbecue how tender that meat could be. They don't slice it then. Then they let it cool off. All that juice stays inside the meat.
Yeah.
So they finally slice it at room temperature or cool temperature. It is just the most flavorful roast beef you could possibly imagine. Try that shrimp.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're cooked so well. The breading, so nice and crispy on the outside. Shrimp inside, juicy, tender.
What I tell you about this bread, I mean, this is like on the outside,
Yeah.
it's really hard and crispy, but the inside, pillowy.
Super
Absolutely falls
fluffy.
apart. I've heard several locals say this, but I'm not a bread scientist, also known as a baker. But they say that the intense humidity of the city lends itself to make the po' boy style roll, and that's why you can only make it here. Anywhere else in the country, you just can't get it right.
Damn. I'm also not a bread scientist, but it is very humid
Baker,
here.
they're called.
Baker.
There you go.
But I know when you are proving your bread,
Yeah.
when it's rising, the humidity does have a bit of a factor in it. You
How
know?
do you like that?
Yeah, so it's going to help it rise, going to get nice and light and airy in there. I really do think it is like the perfect texture for the sandwich as well. Like these are big sandwiches. There's a lot going on in here. There's sauce, there's juice, but honestly having that sponginess on the inside really does just let it kind of soak everything up, hold its shape surprisingly well actually. Really
Can
tasty.
I try a little bit of that?
Of course you may.
They do toast the bread here. Not every place does that, but they do it here. Okay, now the bread, we talked about this before. They do 2 types of bread here. The main one, which we're gonna be having, I think, at almost every single place, see how good is that?
Oh, man.
Is, I'm gonna pronounce this wrong, Leidenheimer. But they also use Gendusa. When they started making po' boys originally, it was more of like just a big kind of oddly shaped hunk of bread. Eventually, Gendusa designed these long, almost 36-inch long rolls or whatever.
Wow.
And then when they have them in there, they cut them to order small or large.
Right. This roast beef is
Right.
ridiculous, by the way.
Okay.
It's almost more like a beef stew in terms of like how juicy and tender it is. And you really get a flavor from like the kind of juices, the gravy that it kind of creates for itself. That's fantastic.
Crystals on the sandwich, crystals on the beat.
Like I say, I'm not the biggest fan of like tomato in sandwiches often, but don't really mind it in here. I think everything has been considered to a point where they're like, yeah, you know, over the years we've refined this down to a point where people are like, this is a po' boy, this is what we want from a sandwich, and I can see why.
Now, you're probably wondering why it is called the po' boy, which is an abbreviation or a slang for the term poor boy.
Sure.
All right. The most preferred form of transportation in the city of New Orleans was streetcar. But during the Great Depression, they weren't getting paid. So the streetcar workers went on strike. 2 brothers, the Martin brothers, Clovis and Benny, former streetcar drivers, had a bakery and a shop, saw this and were like, you know what? When this strike is going on, we're gonna feed our guys, make sure they eat every day. So when they would come in and show their streetcar driver pass, they'd be like, here comes a poor boy, make him a sandwich. Okay, rude.
To be fair, I would take quite a lot of abuse if it meant that I got a free sandwich. It's a pretty good trade-off, I think.
I would be pretty stoked about getting the sandwich. I'd be like, all right.
Yeah.
Hey, this is free. Call me whatever you want, buddy.
If it's free.
Yeah, this absolutely fantastic sandwich. You could tell, like, this is like a sandwich of the people, right? It's just something that was just designed to be delicious. Something that you come and grab every day at lunch. I mean, they serve so many people here. They could sit 300, and he estimates something like 1,000 people a day.
Wow.
That's so many sandwiches.
Yeah. I can tell that you and I are going to have trouble pacing ourselves
We're
today.
in sandwich heaven today.
Yeah, but save some room?
Yeah, save some room. I got a couple more spots I want to show you.
Okay, cool. Let's go.
Let's go. All right, we're on our way to the Magazine Street area of New Orleans. For the next 2 po' boy spots, first stop, we're heading up Guys.
Guys, one thing I do need to work on is my pronunciation of New Orleans, because I
Okay.
keep saying New Orleans.
New Orleans.
It's very much New Orleans.
New Orleans.
I will work on that. But I'm excited for the next po' boy.
Yeah, this is considered one of the best in the city. My man Marvin is on the grill. This is his joint. He makes every sandwich. He has said in multiple interviews, he estimates that he has made 1 million po' boys.
Okay. If you made 1 million po' boys, you probably know what you're doing. Guys seems like a cool spot. It's like a smaller place,
Yeah.
a bit more of like a local neighborhood type of joint.
Neighborhood joint.
I feel like the people who are in there a lot. This is their spot. A couple of times a week, they're in here for lunch, hopefully for a delicious po' boy.
Yes, hopefully. We're gonna get the roast beef. Gotta get the shrimp. Maybe something fun.
Yeah, and I would also quite like a cold beverage, please.
Yeah, what do you want?
Anything cold. Maybe a Gatorade of some kind.
I'm not getting you. They're not gonna have Gatorade.
I swear I saw Powerade in there.
Did you see that in there?
I'm pretty sure I saw Powerade.
There's no way there's Powerade in there.
If there's a blue Powerade, get me a blue Powerade.
All right, well, that's fine, but I'm not gonna bring you a blue Powerade or Gatorade because they definitely don't have them.
Famous last words.
Yeah, you'll see.
How many days you gonna be in New Orleans?
We're here till Sunday.
Till Sunday?
Till Sunday, sir.
Well, our goal is to put 5 pounds on you by Sunday.
Is that right? Yeah, pretty generous with the shrimp there, I see.
You know, I've never advertised a day in my life. Because you know why? I put that 10% advertising budget right there. Right there, look at that.
That's
Do
right.
I need to advertise that? Who don't want that? LA.
Ooh, that's a heavy sandwich. Hear that
Told you,
thud?
I'm gonna make sure.
Oh man, I'm
gonna
so much
make
so.
sure
Is
this
that us?
happens.
This is amazing and generous and looks delicious. Thank you so much.
Hey,
thank you
hope you
everyone.
enjoy it.
I appreciate it. We will. Let's go. Your blue beverage.
There we go. Beautiful. Thank you so much. Wow,
Yeah.
that's alarmingly blue.
So I was
know
watching
you-
him make these sandwiches. We are in trouble.
Okay, it's also starting to rain, so I might have to pull this in.
Yeah, you want to pull it in?
Ever so slightly.
Before we even go, I gotta take a picture. Dude, Zapp's runs the chip game in New Orleans, and I am here for it.
Are they a New Orleans company?
Yeah, I believe so. I mean, they've got the New Orleans keto-style voodoo.
Those voodoo
Dude,
chips.
Zapp's chips are incredible.
Yeah?
Yeah, you're gonna love these crisps.
Okay, thank you for putting it in terms I can understand.
Okay, I got your blue beverage. Which one's this?
This is the roast beef, all dressed again.
Oh, all dressed. Lettuce, tomato, mayo, and pickles. Yeah, ton of roast
Not
beef.
skimping on the
Did not
beef.
skip. No, he
Look
was
at
very
that.
generous in there. Let's go.
Cheers, man.
Fantastic sandwich. That's so good, right? It's more like the deli style slices, but he was graving it up. I think that's the key there.
Compared to like a Parkway where it was more like almost like a beef stew sandwich, which is delicious.
Yeah.
This is more that kind of familiar deli style. Yeah, that gravy and the mayo, plenty of moisture in there.
Yeah.
And a lot of flavor.
Right? The mayo really adds something, doesn't it? Like I was kind of like, I don't know, bearish on the mayo. I'm like, come on, this thing's gonna be dripping in mayo. He was slathering it on there, and like it has a sweetness to it that cuts through the intensity of the beef, of the flavor of the beef there. So like those two things together, real nice.
Yeah, I think one thing about this, the ratio of all the fillings to me is pretty perfect.
Yes.
The meat is like the main event for sure. But you have enough of the lettuce, the tomato. That's really good.
It's big too. I can't imagine a person eating one of these.
No.
He was even telling me in there that we're walking out of here 5 pounds heavier. So get ready. All right, there's a shrimpy guy. And notice this is dressed a little bit differently.
I pulled out a shrimp and it's got what looks to be ketchup on there.
Very astute observation, my friend. When he does the seafood, he does dress it. He adds hot sauce and ketchup. That's the best one. That's so good. I'm wowed by how good this is.
That shrimp, man.
the taste of the shrimp. It's just so flavorful. It's so juicy. You know this was swimming around in the ocean hours ago.
Mere hours ago.
Mere hours ago.
So juicy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, you can just see the seasoning in there as well.
Yep.
A lot of like black pepper going on. It's salty, it's juicy. It's everything I want from a fried shrimp. And it's in a sandwich with a bunch of other tasty stuff.
How's your blue drink?
A blue drink is delicious. It tastes like I was right.
Yeah. Mr. Athlete over here, got to get his electrolytes.
One thing I will say, don't think the bread is toasted here.
I don't believe it is.
It definitely like has a spongier, softer texture to it. Still got that kind of like crackly bit on the outside, which I like.
Yes.
I think personally I might prefer the texture of the untoasted bread.
Interesting.
Although I will say it may have helped with some of these like structural issues because I bit into that and it just kind of fell apart on me.
Yeah, I don't think toasting would have made a difference. I think he's putting in a alarming amount of toppings and protein into these sandwiches. I think it has more to do with that.
I think overall I would rather have a generously filled and messy sandwich than a skimpy but neat sandwich.
It's great, right? Mm-hmm. My chips wet.
We are getting rained on.
Okay.
That New Orleans summer weather, huh?
Yeah.
Whose bright idea was it to organize this for hurricane season?
Someone who doesn't live in this country.
Yeah, I think it was mine. My bad.
Want to run inside?
Yeah.
Okay.
You got that?
Yep. I should grab the drinks and the...
Grab some drinks and chips.
Yep. This thing is a son. It's a bit wet outside. But luckily we have one more sandwich. And this is the Cajun. A Cajun plus Asian equals this sandwich. That's a scientist back there, an artiste. And this is sandwiches, his latest creation. So I saw him making it and I was like, oh man, we are in trouble. All right, I'm going in.
Yeah, my favorite thing about this sandwich is that it only got slightly rained on as well. Look how much chicken is in there, dude.
Oh wow, that's incredible. One of those things where like, you know coming here, the po' boy is gonna be amazing. You know the shrimp's gonna be amazing, the roast beef's gonna be amazing. Amazing.
Amazing Cajun.
So do you want to risk it? But I will say, if this is on the menu, when you come in, get this. The chicken is cooked perfectly. The sauce is undeniable.
It's like a honey soy garlic type of vibe going on. That's
And with
so
the jalapenos,
tasty.
gives it a bit of a kick.
Bit of heat.
And it's all
It's
him
really
back
impressive.
there, so you know it's just like his creative mind at work.
Putting the Cajun to the side. Out of the shrimp and the beef, which way are you leaning so far?
I'm definitely shrimp.
Really?
Shrimp's my favorite one.
I think
do,
I am too, yeah.
I do like the beef, but to me, po' boy is shrimp. I wish I lived by here. I wish this was my hangout.
Yeah.
This place, clearly an institution, clearly famous for a reason.
Yeah, I think if I lived by here, I would end up looking like a Snorlax. So I probably couldn't go every day. But
Too many po' boys. All right, the rain is starting to die down. No, it isn't. Want to go to?
That's a lie.
Want to go to 2 more po' boy places?
yeah, that sounds great. We might get a little wet on the way, but hey, nothing that some po' boys won't fix.
Let's go. It is hurricane weather season here in New Orleans. Got a bit disrupted by the wet. It's all good though. We're in a nice dry automobile on our way to the next location, Domilise. We really needed this rain though. We really needed it.
Boy, did we need this.
Yeah, these plants are eating good today. Oh man, how you
Lovely.
feeling? We're too deep. We're halfway through.
Yeah, not too bad. Trying to be restrained. It's difficult because the food is all delicious.
Yeah, everything's been amazing.
Every po' boy that we've tried so far, I could quite easily have just like put away all by myself.
Yeah.
Jesus, man. Although God clearly does not want me to do that.
Yeah. All right. We're done.
Yeah.
And we're here.
And there we are. All right, we're making a dash.
All right, go. Go, po' boys! Po' boys! It's raining.
It's a bit rainy. We made it through the rain.
Yep.
Domilise's.
And they are considered some of the best po' boys in town. Anthony Bourdain came through here in 2008. And also, the Travel Channel in 2010 had a show called Food Wars. Interesting.
Sounds familiar.
And this was the winner of the best po' boy. They pitted them against Parkway. They said this was better.
All right.
That was a really good po' boy.
Interesting. It was.
This feels like a family operation, family joint.
They
Every
feel
place
it.
we've been to has been like a neighborhood spot.
Yeah, I really like that actually. Again, it kind of speaks to the fact that like this is very much a food of the people. Something that people actually do eat if they live in New Orleans. It's not just like a touristy gimmick thing. But Domilise is some of the best in New Orleans.
Yeah, some say the best.
Okay.
Shrimp,
Yes.
roast beef.
Yes.
I'll say whatever dangerously blue drinks they have. Oh yeah.
So flash flood warning aside, these look pretty good.
And it's look really great. Definitely got the roast beef, and of course got the shrimp. Now you're gonna love what I got to tell you about the sandwiches.
Go on.
They are dressed, but one thing you will not find on these sandwiches dressed: tomato. Miss Dot, who ran the show here for a while, didn't like them, didn't think them necessary in the sandwiches, so she banned them.
She sounds like
I
a
think it's
wise
great.
lady.
Yeah, thank
Look,
you.
I've not been taking them out. If they're in a sandwich, I will usually eat them, but I just wouldn't add them out of choice.
Yeah.
I just don't think, on average, tomatoes add enough to a sandwich.
Yeah.
They're like a bit wet, a bit slimy. You're adding moisture in there. So I'm glad to see them being skipped here.
Do you want to start with the roast beef?
Yeah, this looks great.
I
Shall
love
we?
they cut into thirds.
Yeah, interesting. Bite-sized pieces.
That's a big sandwich.
Also, yeah, the crew can actually have a piece that we haven't bitten into, which is nice for them. Cheers, my guy.
With the mustard. Oh, wow.
Oh, man. That is so good.
The mustard really makes it.
So beefy. You've got that like gravy with it.
Yep.
The mustard and the pickles provide so much needed acidity and sourness to that.
Yep.
Because the beef sandwiches we've had so far have been rich, as roast beef can often be. But yeah, this one is like, in terms of the balance, they've really nailed this.
All the roast beef we've had is really good, but pairing it with the mustard that they've done here, it just elevates the flavor in a way that, wow, just didn't get it at a lot of the other spots.
In the UK, when we have roast beef, a lot of people will have horseradish with it, which actually shares a lot of flavor compounds, the things that actually make up the flavor with mustard.
Yeah.
A little bit of heat to them, you know?
But it's more like, it's not heat spice, more like heat like a tang.
I
It
really
really
love it.
cuts through and just gives you all that flavor. It's fantastic.
But we still got the lettuce in there, still got some mayo in there. I don't know. Yeah, something about this sandwich so far.
It's very good.
This is up there, man. This is right up
Very
there. Bit of shrimp.
Yes, sir.
Shrimp time.
A shrimpy boy. Dressed, no tomato, but they did add their own hot sauce on here. And let's go.
Even just looking at this, the color of the shrimp is really exciting to me. Really looks like kind of like a popcorn shrimp, you know. The shrimp themselves are on the smaller side.
Yeah, but I kind of like that because they're getting more in a bite. This starts out as a liquid batter. Eventually, they put it in the corn flour.
I can tell, like it's so crispy on the outside, trapping all that juice in there.
What they're doing here, because they're so close to the water, they're really just letting the shrimp, the flavor of this fresh shrimp, do all the talking, right?
The freshness of the shrimp is almost like buttery, which again I think is why it works so well with like a little bit of hot sauce, a little bit of pickle. I know you're not the biggest pickle guy, but
I have to say, of all the sandwiches that we've had, visually, this one looked a little more simple, right? And that right away, I was like, oh, what do we have here? But man, oh man, both these sandwiches are incredible. They are so delicious. Every element of it is so well taken care of and considered. Ugh, I can't stop picking at it.
I know.
I'm gonna eat all day. And I'm like, man, I really want to finish this sandwich, so.
Yeah, this one was the sleeper hit. This is the like don't judge a book by its cover sandwich.
Absolutely. This roast beef.
Actually, I think this roast beef is my one. This may be one of the best we've had. Jesus Christ!
Hey, you're not a dog. Don't worry about it. It's just lightning. Yeah, it's just whatever. Like you're from London. You're acting like you never heard this before.
We get rain. We do not get this all the time. Though.
Really?
Yeah, thunderstorms less common.
I was surprised. I thought that first roast beef we had, I was like, nobody can top this. Just the way they slow roast it and stuff. But this, the mustard on there is a secret weapon.
Yeah, man.
Very interesting turn of events.
Lots to ponder. Lots to consider.
Well, we got one more spot to go. So let's head out there now.
Sure. Maybe wait for the rain to stop a little bit.
I don't think it's going to stop anytime soon.
All right, let's go get wet.
Let's go. I have a technique for this.
Okay.
So I get into water so it's like as efficient as possible.
What's the technique?
We'll watch. Ready?
I'm watching.
Okay,
Yeah.
watch.
Yeah, I mean, whatever works.
Perfect. And my guy, last stop of the Po' Boy tour, and we're heading to the heart of New Orleans, the French Quarter.
The French Quarter.
We've been there a few times since we've gotten here.
We have, although mostly we've just been drinking there rather than eating.
Yeah.
Where
Yeah, you're not gonna believe this. They also have food,
Hey, what a
including
coincidence.
Po' Boys, especially Killer Po' Boys, which is where we're going to right now. This place, they don't play with the classics. They're doing all new fun stuff. This is like the new spot. We've been hitting the traditional spots. These are the guys who are like, we're having fun with it. We're doing it our way.
Nice. I gotta be honest, these Po' Boys are starting to catch up with me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the last leg of the Po' Bo Toe. Po Boy Tour. Look, every place we went, tradition this, tradition that. These guys are doing something a little bit differently, kind of giving a modern twist to the classic Po Boy. And I'm here for it, right?
Yes. I'm quite excited to experience something a little bit different, see how far you can push the boundaries of a po' boy.
The one on the menu that I saw online, I'm like, yes, seared shrimp po' boy. Get that in my mouth now. I'm full and I'm dying to taste that sandwich.
So they're taking that shrimp, but they're like mixing the formula up slightly, you know?
Searing the shrimp.
Not your average shrimp po' boy.
There you go. And who doesn't love seared shrimp? Okay, they sear the shrimp in a cast iron skillet, roll them in a little spice of coriander, salt, lime, and black pepper. Black pepper, you kidding me? Let's go. Garlic mayo. Oh, it's a sriracha, fresh lime juice, and a secret ingredient. Louisiana shrimp that's been dried, turned into powder, and mixed in with the rest of the sauce.
What?
Yo, dude.
They've powdered shrimp.
They've powdered shrimp.
They found a way to turn shrimp into dust.
Oh my God.
That's so great.
I like, a little inventiveness, a little
Yeah.
new school thinking. Not everything has to be tradition.
No, sometimes shrimp can be powder, and that's fine.
Oh, I bet this food is going to be ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm really excited. This sounds
But
great.
the question is, are we judging it against classic po' boy or just in general? Are we going classic versus new? That's always like the tough line to throttle.
It's a tricky one. I think we'll have to get the food, and we'll have to see if we think it's still within the realms of what a po' boy is, or if they've pushed the boundaries a little too far. We'll have to be the judges of that, Joe.
That's what the show's all about.
Cheers, my man.
Oh yeah, cheers.
To an excellent day of eating po' boys.
Yes.
Hey.
So here we got our chorizo,
Oh, yes.
our seared shrimp,
Yes, sir.
Oh, man.
and our beef debris.
Ooh, thank you so much.
Thank you so
Y'all
much,
enjoy
sir.
it.
Thank you.
Ooh, okay. Visually, very different to the other ones we've
Yeah.
had today.
A lot of color on these things, especially with the chorizo and this red cabbage, I think, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
I also see what they've done with the bread. It definitely does strike me more as like a banh mi style bread compared to the pretty classic, consistent loaves that we've had today.
I mean, I've been thinking about this seared shrimp for days now, so I want to finally dig in here.
Yeah. So what are we getting here? We've got the
I'm
seared shrimp.
I'm seeing a shredded carrot. Definitely more banh mi vibes on this one.
Yeah, like pickled sort of slaw vibe, the coriander in there. Man, all right, I gotta try this. Cheers. Obviously the shrimp here are seared as opposed to being like battered and fried like some of the other ones we've had. It's actually really clever to assemble it the way they have, because with the crunchy bread, with the sort of pickled veg that you have in there, you got the carrot, there's like some daikon in there, some cucumber as well. You still get a lot of crunch that you may miss out on from not having a batter. The shrimp is so juicy. It's really good.
The way that it's seared and the flavors on there, it just has that more like almost the shrimp you'd have like in a scampi. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The beefy boy they got here, they don't go with
Yeah.
the standard roast beef, although it looks like it is shredded. Yes, it is.
They call this one the beef debris.
Beef debris. And I gotta say, I don't think I've ever seen a sandwich with pickled green beans on it.
No.
Banana peppers made it.
Your old friend banana peppers.
Yeah.
Know how much you love those. All right. The beef does look pretty damn good though.
So this is very interesting. Here's a question. Do you know what giardiniera is?
Yeah, like the Italian chopped pickle salad thing. Yeah.
This has flavor profiles and consistency remnants of like a giardiniera. Right?
You're from Chicago.
Yes.
A million miles away from like an Italian beef sandwich.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's like it's kind of close.
Yeah.
So in a weird way, even though it isn't giardiniera, it almost feels like this is a fusion that's reminiscent of an Italian Chicago beef. And it doesn't taste like one. I don't want to mislead anyone.
Sure.
But it has like the really crunchy snap of the vinegary peppers, in this case green beans and banana peppers, with just incredibly rich, wet, saucy gravy of the roast beef we've been having here. Like the roast beef here is really similar to what we had at the first place at Parkway.
I was going to say this really reminds me of the Parkway beef in terms of it's almost more like a pot roast or like a stew, and you get that really concentrated beef flavor with the kind of fat all in there as well. Really intense flavor. I really like this.
This pepper green bean combo.
You were like a little bit apprehensive
No.
about the green beans.
Wow.
Has that immediately won you over?
It definitely won me over.
I think it might have done, yeah.
Now, I absolutely love chorizo. And him saying this is chorizo po' boy, I feel like it's pretty far away from a po' boy. So I think this is a very bold direction, definitely going away from the traditional. This looks really good.
Last one of the day.
Okay, let's go.
Cheers.
Whoa.
There's a lot going on
It's
there.
a phenomenal sandwich. I didn't know where the pumpkin hummus was going to sit. Now pairing with the spiciness of the chorizo,
Yeah.
it's paired because like the pumpkin hummus kind of has this cool, creamy,
Like earthy.
but it's just with the absolute like fattiness and richness of the chorizo together. Wow.
Chorizo's got some heat as well, plus there's extra jalapenos in there as well.
Wow, this place is absolutely fantastic. I love the invention.
Yeah.
I love what they're doing. They definitely are killer. These
Yeah.
are killer po' boys. All right, well, we have a decision to make, but instead of doing it here, why don't we walk on down to Cafe Du Monde, grab some beignets, and debrief of the day.
Yeah, regardless of how full I am, I always find room for a little something sweet.
A little something
A
sweet.
little something sweet.
Yeah, same.
All right, let's go.
Hey, how you doing? Can I have 2 orders of beignets?
There we go, buddy.
All right, got it. Beignets, baby. Have you ever had a beignet before?
I have not, no. I saw that movie Chef.
Yeah.
Big comfort movie, loved it, and they had them in that. And ever since then, I've really wanted to try a Café du Monde beignet. So thank you to Food Tours for making my dreams come true.
All right, why don't we share a beignet and then get down to it. Got
Man,
and then just poured the powdered sugar
they're
in
not
there,
skimping
right?
on the powdered sugar.
No, sir.
That's for certain.
They're really dense.
They really are, yeah. I was expecting them to be lighter. Very tasty, but
I saw 3, I'm like, come on, 3? But I think honestly I can wait 1.
No.
Po' boys. Like we're LeBron James. Let's do it, po' boys. Starting off the day, went to Parkway.
Yes.
Institution of po' boys, right? At the scale that they're doing it, it's a miracle that the quality is still sky high.
Yeah, I feel like as far as a traditional po' boy goes,
Uh-huh.
doesn't get much more traditional than that.
Sure.
That is a New Orleans history in a bite right there.
Then for that, we went to Guys.
Guys.
Man, my man Marvin, what a character. He's just back there making every sandwich, going to town. What I loved about it, I mean, the sandwiches were fantastic, but clearly he is an artist, a sandwich artist, not to be confused with Subway employees. Of
course.
He's a true sandwich artist.
Yeah, I feel like that one, maybe the best shrimp po' boy we had today. Not to give any broader decisions away, but that one was phenomenal. Not skimping on any of the ingredients, that was packed full of shrimp. So tasty, so well seasoned, crispy, hit all the kind of key areas that you want a po' boy to hit.
Then it started raining.
Things
Got a little hectic.
rained a lot.
We made our way over before the flood came to Domilise's. And oh my God.
Yeah, unassuming spot for, honestly, like one thing that I think about po' boys is they are quite an unassuming food. It's like simple but elegant,
Yeah.
just does the job. And I think Domilise has kind of matched the vibe of the food it was serving, which I really, really loved.
Yeah.
Food there was fantastic.
Yep.
That roast beef with the mustard, man, that was phenomenal. You can tell,
What's French for moi?
le moi.
Yes, there you go. Very good. And finally, went to Killer Po' Boys. They're turning tradition on its head.
Some of the things on the menu there, I don't think you would find on any other po' boy menus in New Orleans.
The seared shrimp, definitely still a po' boy. Do you think? It had elements like of a banh mi almost. In
I
this
know,
too,
yeah.
right?
Even with that one, I was like, the only real similarity is the shrimp
Yeah.
and like a French style bread. But beyond that, I was struggling to find similarities with any of the other sandwiches that we tried today. I will say the big caveat to all of that is that every sandwich at Killer was delicious.
Yeah, it was delicious.
Yeah.
Or was it a po' boy?
Was it a po' boy?
All right. Well, we got to pick our favorite. For me, I think my favorite was Domilise's.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was that mustard. I think it was just the simple nature of the sandwiches, but I think they were done to perfection.
Yeah.
I think it's probably the best example of a po' boy. Guys is a close second. I mean, everything was fantastic. When we left Guys, I was like, wow, that's the one to beat. And then Domilise's did it.
Fair play, man.
Yeah.
I was also split between two.
Uh-huh.
I was split between Parkway and Domilise's.
Oh, okay.
I think if it came down to one, I'm also going Domilise's.
Wow,
Yeah.
look at us.
I think it was exactly what I imagined a po' boy would be.
Yeah.
It delivered in every area. That beef one particularly was incredible because while, Killer is innovating in its own way, Domilise's has made like very subtle adjustments to the formula, but still just improved the sandwich, taking it to a whole new level. Just adding that little bit of mustard and that beef, no tomatoes anywhere to be seen. Small tweaks adding up to
Our hatred
a big
for
difference.
tomatoes, sliced tomato.
That slightly tipped it.
That's what clinched it, yep. All right. Well, we got to get rest because tomorrow we got more food to eat.
We do. Right now, I've got more food to eat.
Oh, yeah.
Finish off these beignets.
What is this nightmare? Oh my God.
This is Po. Po explains what dressed is on a po' boy.
Oh, because there's the ketchup on, I see.
There's lettuce,
Yeah.
tomatoes, pickles, ketchup. Po's ready for his seafood fiesta.
That's great.